First Chronicles 27 is a list of military division heads. They're each assigned a division of 24,000 fighting men and a month. I don't know the historical research on this, but the passage makes it sound like each division was in charge in a certain month. Maybe they came to Jerusalem for the month and were the defenders, the ones on call, and everyone else could tend to their fields and families unless all Israel was called out to war. When the Lord gives us a task, it's not 24/7, 365. The only all day, all night, all year job is to love and walk in relationship with God. Jesus was always on call. People were constantly seeking him. He knew he had a task to preach the gospel in all the towns of Israel. But he didn't do that nonstop. He regularly withdrew away by himself. The work isn't the most important thing. This chapter also lists other positions, including the men in charge of the livestock. These jobs were important enough that thousands of years later, we have the name of the man in charge of the king's donkeys. We see some names that are very familiar, such as the commander of David's army and his advisors. Then we have one more listed, Hushai, the king's friend. It's hard to imagine that was an official royal position, but he's recorded here for us. He got to hang out with David, just to be his friend. He proves himself loyal to David toward the end of his years when he becomes a plant in the opposing camp when David's son Absalom rises up against him. We may be given a position of teacher, evangelist, or helper, or any number of positions from cleanup crew to program director, but there's one position we should all aspire to: the king's friend.